whatever reason, bombarding the shop, texting me all day and calling me all day. Lots of people DMing me on Instagram. And at the end of the day, I went to go throw out the garbage from my station, and I packed everything up, and the gate was down in the back. We have like a metal gate that closes off the backyard door, so it's locked, and then there's like a metal gate. So I only lifted the metal gate halfway because I was like, I'm just gonna go throw the garbage out. So I went under the gate, went through the garbage out, turned right back around, wham! Rocked my head on the gate in the back of the barbershop. I saw stars. I sat my merry little ass down, laid down in the hallway.
Sheesh.
And that was how I ended my busy Father's Day weekend at the barbershop.
And that was on Saturday because you guys are not open on Sundays.
That was on Saturday, yeah. That was on Saturday.
Sheesh. Happy Father's Day, my nigga.
He saw dollar signs spinning from all the money.
Luckily, I was okay. I don't believe I had a concussion. I'm pretty sure I'm fine. I'm sleeping fine.
Okay, yeah. That's the next one I was gonna ask.
I've been sleeping just fine. Everything is fine. I was just really sore for the remainder of that day. Really sore. But that was it. Okay. Yeah, so fun. Lots and lots of Father's Day fun.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself on Father's Day, my G. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. But yeah, let's. And I'm glad you're feeling better, by the way, too. You dumbass almost had to go to the ER because you were fucking coughing and shit and wanted to keep smoking, dickhead.
Listen, bro, you can tell me a lot of different things, but to stop smoking is one thing. It's very hard to tell me to do.
Nigga was on his deathbed, like, bro, I gotta take another hit.
I just need at least one hit.
At least one.
I gotta
when you're
relax
sick
while
is
I'm
like
sick.
one of the worst. You're crazy, bro. Smoking while you're sick, like if you're sick, like you have like a head cold or whatever, and you take a hit, bro, you're gonna be dapping up Jesus, bro. You bugging out.
That's the point.
Nah.
That's the point. Yeah, no, I had to take a little bit of a break. I took a small break. Very small. Bro. Took a small break.
Small break. Well,
I don't normally take tea breaks. Don't feel the need to.
No, I feel you. That's because you have like you have a set time when you smoke. Like you wasn't like me where
like I don't
smoke. I wake up in the morning, smoke. Go take a shit. I'm smoking on the toilet.
I mean,
smoking every single minute of the day.
Sometimes I can wake up early enough in the morning to smoke before my day. It's not every day, but no, I'm not chiefing all day long and going about my day. Like I can't. I wouldn't be able to get anything done. I wouldn't even have a place to smoke. I'm always working. Where the hell am I smoking?
I mean, you can smoke outside now because it's legal in Jersey City.
No.
It's legal in Jersey City.
It doesn't matter. I'm busy. I got stuff to do.
True.
I come home. That nice little reward.
Nice little reward, like
nice little reward. Chief in One Piece. That's how.
Speaking of One Piece, hopefully you watch some episodes.
Yes,
you bitch ass
yes. Relax, calm your shit.
Right.
We're gonna talk about One Piece today. Don't worry. Good. We do every podcast. We only had like the longest One Piece conversation of all time last time. So
that was some good content.
It was, and we got more One Piece coming.
Oh, very true. But you already know what time it is, people. What?
I was like, I don't know what I almost dropped the mic.
What the fuck is going on? It's your boy Macky OMO here in Paradise Island. Welcome to episode 48, I believe it is. Yes, 48, because last episode was 47. So this episode has to be 48. So welcome to episode 48 of the Paradise Podcast. I'm here with my good brother. We got Platinum Shawny in the motherfucking building, back from his week in bougiedom. We also got the the razor sharp assassin with the clipper in Johnny B, the Bonanza, the barber. You can see he's plant based.
Power.
Impossible Bonanno. I'm here today. I'm ready to pod. And we are the Paradise Podcast. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is
That was a lot
What's
of air
going on?
horns.
Yeah, I'm here to pod today, man. I'm here to pod.
Sounded like the air horns was echoing.
Because I pressed it like 4 times. That's why. But I hope everybody had a good weekend, had a good Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It's crazy. There's a stat that Father's Day is like the 20th most celebrated holiday. That Arbor Day is celebrated more than Father's Day. That is crazy. We need to celebrate our fathers because, you feel me, a father, no one can love you like your father can. I'll tell you that. So, with that being said, let's just jump into it. What you watch, what you playing, what you reading, what you doing, aka the recap. And I'm gonna start it off as I usually do. So I watched this new anime. It's a soccer anime. I found a soccer anime. I was really excited. It's called Aoashi. It's dope as hell. If you've watched Haikyuu, it's like the opposite of that. Haikyuu was the best player on a shitty team. Same thing with like Kuroko no Basket, the best player on a shitty team. He is a very good player on one of the best teams in the country. And they take a different approach where he's just like the dude from Haikyuu. I can't remember his name. If Crispy was here, he'd be able to tell me. But he's just like the dude from Haikyuu. He's nice as shit. Like, he's just gifted like that. He's nice as shit. But there's certain things in his game that he needs to fix. But he's a very fast learner. And it's only been 9 episodes. It's only 9 episodes on my episode 7. It's really good. I suggest you watch it. Other than that, I watched One Piece. I didn't watch the new episode that came out, but I started my rewatch again. So I'm on Thriller Bark, where John was at a couple of weeks ago, even though it took him like 2 months to finish that
Where
shit.
did you start?
This is like my rewatch that I had paused because I didn't pay for Funimation because I was waiting for Funimation to put the dub on Crunchyroll, but they haven't done that, and I don't want to wait anymore. So I said, let me just pay the $8 to watch that shit. So I'm on Thriller Bark right now. I just ended Eni's Lobby and shit like that. They got what's his name, Frankie, and now I'm on Thriller Bark. What else did I watch? I watched. I said One Piece. I watched. I finished My Hero. I think I finished that last episode, but I'm gonna say it again. I watched My Hero. I also watched Bob's Burgers. I caught up on that. That show might be the best adult animation show ever to be created. The shit is fucking hilarious. I wish good. Oh my god, you should watch it whenever you get a chance because I know you're watching One Piece. I want to go watch the movie in theaters. I cannot wait. So I know it's probably out of theaters by now. So if I ever get a chance, I'm definitely going to try to watch that. I also watched Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. I watched that, and I watched Return of the Jedi. I watched some. I didn't get to finish that one. It's crazy that those movies were made in like the late 70s, early 80s. And
you're also watching a digitally remastered version.
Yeah, but bro, true. But they look really good. Like even the costumes and all that other shit, they look really, really good for that time. They had like anime. Granted, you're saying like it's a digitally remastered, so they probably made the animation a little bit nicer.
But a lot of that stuff, yeah, all those animations were redone.
Yeah, so I'm sure they did those, but the costumes, all that other stuff, how the costumes worked, those look really, really good. So I watched that. What I just played FIFA. I've been playing FIFA for like the past 2 weeks because I'm packing up, I'm moving my crib, and I don't want to get into a new game because then I'm just going to be sitting here playing that game for hours. At least FIFA, I could play for 10 minutes, finish a game, and I'll go continue packing. And what I read, I caught up on One Piece. Shout out to Luffy. I caught up on One Piece. That show, that shit is amazing. I can't wait till they animate where I'm at in the manga. We're on this month break, so I'm not going to be reading that for another month. Yeah, and I was reading, huh?
I was gonna say shout out to Buggy too. Apparently, tell you,
I don't want to ruin it.
Twitter ruins
Yo,
everything.
go and mute it. So
I
you don't see
have.
it.
It's just people just talk about random shit. They don't even mention the words One Piece, anything.
They'll just throw his shit on there.
They'll just show like memes with like
You
Buggy's
guys-
face on it and just be like, yeah, you know, the 4 Yonkos. And I'm just
You
like, all right.
You just gotta start muting every time you meet a new character. You gotta add it to the mute list.
Yeah, add it to the mute list.
Because honestly, at this point, like it's just like everybody they just do random shit. So you don't know, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just
the Yonko now. You gotta do warlords. You gotta do pirates. You just gotta do everything.
Everything. I gotta mute you. You gotta help me. You gotta help me.
Yeah, I'm gonna start making up new words. Or like my teacher, I'm like, John, mute this.
Mute all these words. I'm gonna be like, damn, this is
Yeah.
a lot of context.
No, you gotta mute
I
all
don't
that
know
shit.
why I'm cleaning my glasses. I don't want to record with them on. Continue though. I interrupted you.
No, it's all good. It's all good because I'm almost done. And I was catching up on My Hero, because like where the story ended, I was like really interested to see what the manga was doing. And from what I saw, like the manga and the show are like there's not too much that they leave out
What do you
from
mean?
the anime. Like most of the things that happen in the anime, they show in the show. Most of the things, from what I saw, anyway.
Yeah, no, they were pretty spot on. I would only say for last season, there were like bits and pieces during the My Villain Academia arc that were left out that didn't add to it. Like the importance of Spinner and why he was narrating the story and how they even got there. They skipped out all that.
Okay.
And then even Destro like killing
Redestro.
Redestro killing the subordinate at the job. They left that out.
Oh,
because that a lot of that shit didn't make sense. Like it made sense for the anime to some level, but those little tiny details, you would understand why he was more. You would have appreciated Redestro more had they wouldn't have left out just how, like a little bit more of it leading into it.
No, I agree.
And they flipped the timeline too of how when it occurred.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm catching up. I'm reading on that when I get like a little chance at work when it's kind of dead. And yeah, that's all I've really been doing. So I'm going to pass it off to Shawny. What you watching? What you playing? What you reading? What you doing? AKA the recap.
So I've learned from my trip for work, I will not be bringing my PlayStation back because I did not play anything on it while I was there. I literally just watched YouTube and Crunchyroll. And I only watched that the Ninja Girl and Samurai thing only because it was literally 5-minute episodes and I was just so tired that I couldn't really watch it. So I watched that.
Thought you was going on a work trip to vacation? You crazy.
It was a workation. I mean, I was in the hotel room towards the night, but like I would be fine just bringing my Apple TV and it has all my apps and I could just, connect to the Wi-Fi there and just watch everything. But I was tired, so I didn't really have time. But when I got back, I watched the second episode of Mrs. Marvel. And honestly, that's about it. Like, I'm still behind on my anime. I still need to watch Shield Hero. Still need to watch Boruto. Still need to watch One Piece. So, like, yeah, I'm slacking. So hopefully I'll have time this weekend to really
get into some shit.
Yeah.
What about reading?
Reading, I did have time to catch up on One Piece. So that was good. But I have to read the official release instead of like the leak release, so I can just see the proper translations and be able to watch in clarity, read in clarity. I did catch up on My Hero. I caught up on My Hero, so that was good. I was excited about that, where they're taking it. I'm super slacking on Tokyo Revengers. Super slacking. I need to go. I feel like I'm like maybe 10 chapters behind. It feels like.
Sheesh.
So I need to read that, and
I gotta read that one too.
Yeah, no, that was it, and I haven't even played Samurai Warriors this week. It's just been busy.
Been busy. All right.
And then what did I do? I don't even know. I bought some pops. That's about it. Pops, and I got a manicure and a pedicure today, and it felt good. So that's about it. That's all. I had time. I was like, fuck it. I just played Pokemon. So
I felt that. I would have definitely done that shit if I had off today too. For sure.
Yeah.
So Shawny, real quick before it's my turn to go into all that other stuff. I just want to laugh at something Boruto related because you mentioned that you still haven't watched Boruto, and everybody here talks about how bad Boruto is.
Yeah.
So why didn't anybody tell me that there were some comedy gold moments in Boruto? I saw a scene where Naruto was walking his kid's cake over to the dinner table, and then his shadow clone that was holding the cake poofed, and the cake fell to the floor, and his son was just like, "He's not even here." I was like, "Oh my god!" The person that tweeted this clip was like, "Oh, and they say Goku's a bad dad." Like he's never done this shit.
I mean, that's because Goku's been dead all the time.
Yeah, but the one time that he came back to life for a day, he wanted to spend the whole day
at the tournament
with his family, watching his sons fight.
Okay.
And then it turned into the Majin Buu saga, but that wasn't the reason why
for
he
like
was
a
there.
day.
Yeah, that wasn't the reason why he was fucking there.
Bro, that saga was long as shit.
He proved the point. Whenever he's there, shit happens.
That basically, but yeah, it's like, so what's good with bad dad Naruto?
So that was like early on, because in the beginning Boruto's like super fucking ungrateful, like mad ungrateful, and Naruto's trying to just navigate being the Hokage, getting super busy and shit. So he was just being like really mad. He was just really, not understanding why he didn't understand the concept of being Hokage and what it took to become that and whatnot. But that eventually, like, that's probably like the first, I forgot how many episodes, but they basically like get past that once Boruto sees like Naruto in action fucking shit up, and then he has a new respect for him now. So they get past it. But yeah, because Boruto is predominantly fillers, there's way more funny moments that occur there.
But like just shadow clone the cake into the floor, bro. I was
he
like,
was tight because it was his sister's birthday.
Yeah, it was his sister's birthday,
and he used the shadow clone to beat it, and Boruto was so tired that the fucking clone poofed. So it was just a lot. It was a lot of drama.
Wait, Boruto used the shadow clone?
No, he meant Naruto.
Sorry, Naruto.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, bro, his shadow clone fucking poofed, and the cake fell to the floor.
Tight, yo.
And Boruto got up and was just like, done with him.
I mean, listen, man. I'm sure Naruto doesn't know really how to be a dad because he didn't have one. That's no shade, but he didn't really have a father. And the father's figures that he had in his life, they weren't good role models. Like, even though Jiraiya Sensei taught him how to fight, he wasn't a good role model. The other dude,
he did good. He was his godfather.
He was not a good role model. The other dude, the Hokage, the third Hokage, I think it was.
Oh, come on! You think you saying Jiraiya is better than the third Hokage?
No. Yes, he is. As a father figure?
Wait, hold on. Yes, Jiraiya is better. Yes, I thought I thought you were trying to say the third Hokage is better than Jiraiya.
He was the worst. This man told everybody in the village, "Yo, you see that boy over there with the little circle on his stomach? Yeah, you don't talk to him. Leave him alone. Don't play with him. Don't be nice to him. In fact," and then he gave that nigga a stipend. He was like, "Here, this is how much money you get for the week. Just go and eat some ramen 2 times a day. You'll be straight." That's what he did to him. I'm surprised Naruto didn't blow that shit. I'm surprised Naruto didn't turn into fucking Sasuke. But anyway,
that was literally a filler plot.
That's another story for another day.
All I wanted to do was point out how Goku isn't that bad of a dad after all.
No, he's
not as bad as Naruto.
I don't know. I feel like he was there. I think the son was ungrateful.
I haven't watched Boruto, so I can't say.
Yeah, I've never even really fully watched Naruto, so I don't really belong in this conversation. I just saw that clip, and by itself, that clip in and of itself.
Do you know what Goku did? Did you forget what Goku did? Before you go, I want to let you know who did. He fought Cell. He fought Cell, damn near beat Cell up. Then said, "You know what?"
Gave him a
senzu bean and said, "Go out, fight this nigga." What? That's crazy. If my dad did that shit to me and my dad are gonna have hands, bro, right there and then. That's crazy.
And he was like, "Nah, I know my son could do it."
Nah, that's crazy.
I know he could do it. I'm the only one who knows. I saw it when we were in the hyperbolic time chamber.
That's insane. If it wasn't for plot, Gohan would have been dead. DED, dead.
Dead.
But anyway,
So-
what you watch, what you play, what you reading, what you doing, aka the recap,
I
John.
hate you. So continued watching One Piece. And then today I got to see Fast 9 and I got to see The Matrix 4, and that was like almost a dunk in the toilet, but it wasn't that bad. I gotta watch it again so I can pay attention to it.
I heard it wasn't good from sources.
I gotta rewatch it because I saw it in the barbershop, and I don't really get to pay attention that well. But from what I did see, looked interesting. But I gotta see it again. And then I started another anime, another ecchi. You know, I gotta have mine. And this one is called Ladies versus Butlers.
Ooh.
I've only seen like 3 episodes of it. It's all
How
right.
was it?
The story's kind of buns.
You're not there for the story though, so that's fine.
I mean, it helps when the story is actually pretty good. That's the reason why I've been drudging my way through 7 Mortal Sins. The story in that one is just... so I'm just like, fuck. I don't even like that one is censored. But this one that I'm watching is not censored, but I'm not really all that invested in the story just yet. Got to see where it goes. But that's that. And then for game wise, the only thing that I really got a chance to play was just yesterday mostly. I played a little bit of Halo Infinite, just making my way through the campaign on that one. And then me and Layla and Sirmata together did 10 stages in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The collection, the new collection.
No.
The 6-player one, right?
Shredder's Revenge. Yeah,
that should look good.
Yeah, that one is a phenomenal game. So that's on Game Pass. I downloaded that one.
Oh, it's free on Game Pass?
It's on Game Pass.
Oh shit.
Yep. Okay. So I actually am willing to pay for this one. Like I want to buy like a physical version of this just to keep it. But but this is a great game. Like if you like beat 'em ups and you enjoyed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at all in your childhood, you're gonna really, really, really like this one. This is basically like a spiritual successor to every arcade beat 'em up TMNT that they've done in the past. But the mechanics are done really, really well. The animations are done really well. It's modeled after the 1989 TMNT series. They use all the original voice actors from that cartoon series, the art style and everything. You could play as the 4 Turtles, April, Master Splinter, and Casey.
Yes, I remember. We spoke about that a couple weeks ago.
It was made by the same people who did Streets of Rage 4. And actually, when I saw the gameplay, I was watching that. I watched some of that on YouTube, some for background noise. And it looked really good. Like
it's great.
It was so good.
That
Combos,
just reminds me of
animations,
like
it's like it's
no.
really
this
good.
is great. This is such a good.
The Chuck E. Cheese one was great.
One. You're probably playing a legitimate like just TMNT arcade game like from the past.
That's what it felt like. But it just graphically.
This is an updated version of that. It's really easy to pick up and play. Just download it if you still got your Game Pass set up on the Xbox. Yeah, just download it to the Xbox, bro. It's
not right now though.
It's definitely they're quick. It's not like like it takes you forever to do a stage. It tells you how long like the boss fight is at the end of it and everything. You could spend like 6 or 7 minutes or so on a boss fight. But the stages were good, were quick to get through, and the 3 of us were playing together, and we were getting through it pretty quick. But there's a lot of stuff you could do in that game. That one was really, really, really fun. That's probably the biggest video game highlight of my week was playing that game. So that one I can't recommend that one enough. I had a really good time. I want to finish it. But we kind of started it all together, and now I feel like an asshole if I play it without 2 of them. But
you're better than me. I'll be playing that shit.
Listen, it was incredible family bonding. Like we were legitimately like plowing through this game. like as a family. Obviously, mostly me and Sermata doing all the work, but
I know.
really, really, really good time. Really good family time too. And then I bought this recently. I bought it from Best Buy. They had it on sale for like $29 because I'm missing from this like little segment there. But I needed to get at least one of the Diamond and Pearl remakes. So I've got Brilliant Diamond here. When I played this generation, when I originally played the fourth generation on the DS, I picked Pearl because my boy at the time really, really, really wanted Diamond, and I figured, well, I'll get the opposite version so we can at least make sure we complete the Pokedex and do all that other shit. So I would just usually get the opposite version that he made a big deal over. But this time around, I just wanted to try the other version because I never really played through Diamond on the DS. I have Pearl and I have Platinum. So I haven't started this one yet, but this is going to be, excuse me, this is going to be my next project.
It's really good because I never played Diamond and Pearl, and like for as far as I got in that one, I was like, thank God for Pokemon Go because it makes it a lot easier to help me figure out the Pokemon. But like that was really good. Like I was like, I was having a lot of fun with it.
Well, that's dope. I like that generation. I just wasn't a huge fan of the critiques that I was able to see about this particular remake. Like a lot of people just complained about the mechanics of it and a whole bunch of other things like that. So I haven't gotten to experience it just yet, but I know that I'm definitely gonna find some things to hate about this version of the game. But I'm still looking forward to playing it nonetheless. So that's gonna be my next Pokemon project. And then I bought a few games for the Xbox over the weekend too that I'm gonna get into. Also, I bought Far Cry 6 with Giancarlo Esposito as the villain. And then I was able to get the Arkham collection.
Nice.
For like $8. I got all 3 games with
you
all
can
of
never
the DLC.
go wrong with the Arkham collection.
Don't they have like? Isn't Arkham on Game Pass?
Yeah, but the third one.
You don't get City and Origins.
Yeah, the third one is available on Game Pass, and I originally had downloaded it from Game Pass onto my Xbox, but I pulled the trigger on it because Microsoft sent me like a $10 gift card recently, and freaking the Arkham collection was $8.99.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I was just like, I technically didn't even pay for it. So I got all 3 Arkham games and all their DLC for $9.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna start Arkham Asylum first and work my way through that trilogy. I'll probably play through the Batman stuff before I get to Far Cry. But that's everything video game related in my life at the moment.
Okay. And any reading?
No, I still have the Over 9,000 book that I'm reading. I carry it every day with me to work, but I've just been so busy, especially because of last week, that I just haven't had much reading time. So maybe this week I'll get some reading time, but I haven't been able to pick it back up.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that, John. And before we jump into the topic, I did want to say, I know this is coming out on Thursday, so it would have already passed, but happy Juneteenth.
Yes.
Happy Juneteenth. I'm not going to sit here and explain to those who don't know what Juneteenth is. You can go on Google and look it up yourselves.
Because I'm going to explain it during my One Piece segment today.
Oh, look at that tie-in.
Hey, that's fine. You can explain it. I'm not. I'll just let you know if you're right or wrong. But anyway,
I'm not going to give you like a whole fucking historical excerpt about it. I'm just, but yeah, I'm going to explain at least the relevance of what's going on.
So, to skip over to the topic today, because I don't have any would you rather or any battles today, because it was crazy at work, even though it was a holiday. Can you imagine? On a Black Man's holiday, everybody want to call in. It's crazy.
Because people don't have to go to work, so they want to do random shit they wouldn't do normally during the week.
Listen to me. During Memorial Day, it was quiet. I left work 2 hours early because it was so quiet.
That's the motherfuckers was actually you. That's the day that everybody goes to what's the first day everybody goes to the beach?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's the first 3-day weekend of the hot weather. That's all it is.
But what about 4th of July? Anyway, let's move. Nothing. Never mind. Let's move on.
This hasn't been
Let's move on.
it's only been a year. This hasn't been a tradition.
Let's move on. So today's episode, we're going to talk about how the DCEU can be fixed. Where's my music? I don't have any like spooky music, so
I would not drop a bomb, but I would put a whale.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
I mean, it scared the shit out of me.
There you go.
How the DCEU can be fixed. So we first want to start this off by talking about the recent reports that have come out, and a lot of these reports are dating. Well, actually, one of them is dating back to 2020 with Ezra Miller, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Shawny just told me earlier that he has been dropped by Warner Brothers for being the Flash after this movie. So we can, like, just to kind of give people context, if John would please give us his beautiful voice so he can read some of the things. He doesn't have to read everything, but he can kind of read the titles of what I have here about like some of the things that he was doing, and the reason why he got dropped. So
Okay.
let me zoom in for you so you can read that.
Yeah.
word.
Why don't you highlight the things that you would
Okay,
like
so you
me
can
to read. Okay. So it says, what's going on with Ezra Miller? A timeline. This was written by Rachel Keeley or Kylie. I'm going to go with Keeley. Hi, Rachel. When Ezra Miller made headlines for a video showing them appearing to violently choke a fan in Iceland back in 2020,
Wow.
many thought that might mark the beginning of the end of their career. But the incident instead went unaddressed by Miller, who seemingly faced no consequences. Okay, we're going to fast forward 2 years, and Miller has been in the news for both questionable and allegedly criminal behavior so frequently the last few months, it's been difficult to keep up. From bar fights to accusations of alleged grooming a preteen, here's a rough timeline of what's been going on. Wow.
All right, so you could just kind of read the titles of these, but before you continue, so as John beautifully just told us, that this nasty man has been doing some nasty and unethical things in the past. I think, like I said, it's been 2020 was when the issue
Ezra identifies as they.
Oh, they? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes.
This nasty they has been doing.
They have been very nasty.
I'm not trying to make fun of the
I know you're just trying to figure out how to say it.
But I'm just trying to figure out how to say it. Yes. I know. I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying it to people who are listening so they don't kill me, please.
I'm just trying to help
everybody. If you want to be a plant, I will call you tree. Whatever. I will never tell nobody, especially someone, if you know my actual real name, how hard it is to pronounce, I'll never get mad at anybody for correcting me on how to say something about somebody else.
It's just
with that being said,
yes,
okay,
juice,
I guess
juicy.
Whoa! Come on. Anyway,
bro, you take everything left.
Oh my God, can I mute this guy? All right, yeah, I'm gonna mute this guy. All right, so just to kind of breeze through this, because again, this conversation is really just about how the DCEU can fix itself to kind of compete with Marvel. And I mean, I would even throw in like Star Wars, even though people haven't
competing, just fix themselves in general. They got a long way to go before they can compete again.
Very true. Again, like they was competing. But yes, very true. So, the reports date back as far as 2020 when he choked out a woman in Iceland, but a lot of the reports have been happening in the last, I want to say 4 or not even like 3 or 4 months. So John, you can just kind of read the what's in black, like what's in bold letters for them, so that the listeners can hear.
In March, cops were called to deal with Miller causing a disturbance at a bar. Let's continue. Let's go down. This was in Hawaii. Also in March, it was they were arrested.
Let's see. Okay, they didn't give us a date. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, also in March, they were arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment. Let's see. Again in March, the very next day.
The very next day.
The police were called on Miller again after a resident called the police asking for advice about removing the house guest from his property. So I think I remember this story. Supposedly, Miller broke into this person's house and was just hanging out there. And the person called the police. I was like, "Hey, there's somebody in my house. He doesn't want to leave."
Yo,
Next one,
And
please.
it's the Flash. Did I tell you that it's?
Did
the
I
Flash?
tell you it's the Flash?
He's
He's
in my
flashed
house.
in here
And refuses to leave.
He flashed himself in here. Anyway, continue.
So the day after that, a couple takes out a restraining order against Ezra. Miller had reportedly been staying with the couple at a hostel in Hawaii, and they took out a restraining order claiming that they threatened them and stole items, including passport and wallet. "I will burn you and your slut wife," Miller is accused of telling them.
No, yo, don't say it like
Interesting.
that, bro.
Very interesting. What? How am I supposed to say it? Am I
Go
supposed?
ahead.
You
This
want me
is-
to
this is
reenact
the-
it?
this
You want
is-
me?
so-
You want me to
no,
become
I
Ezra
don't
in that
want you-
moment?
No,
I can
don't
channel
want you to
my
become
inner
they.
psychopath.
I don't want you to become they. I don't want you to become they. Then what happened the next day?
The day after that, Hawaii police say this has been the tip of the iceberg. Police say that they have received 10 calls about Miller since March 7th, mostly for minor things such as filming people at a gas station, refusing to leave the sidewalk area of a restaurant, and arguing with people. In April, rumors come out that Warner Brothers might finally drop Ezra Miller from the Flash to begin to start circulating. So now Warner Brothers is talking about not continuing with their relationship with this actor. In April, the couple that filed the restraining order drops the restraining order. They declined to comment as to why they chose to drop the restraining order. A few days later, Miller is arrested in Hawaii again. Less than 2 weeks after the restraining order was dropped. Less than a week after the restraining order was dropped, Miller was arrested after allegedly throwing a chair at a 26-year-old woman at a house in Puna and leaving her with a head injury. Ouch. They were arrested at 1:30 in the morning during a traffic stop and charged with second-degree assault. All right. He's throwing chairs at people. They are throwing chairs at people. In May 9th, Warner Brothers denies any accusations of cutting Miller from The Flash. Let's see. May 16th, footage of Miller's arrest surfaces. Body cam footage showed. Okay, never mind.
Sorry. Go ahead.
The body cam footage shows Miller telling the police officer that referring to them as "sir" counts as a hate crime. June 8th, Miller accused of grooming an 18-year-old since she was 12. The parents of 18-year-old Dakota Iron Eyes?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay. Asked a court to intervene after alleging that Miller is a danger to their daughter, whose life the actor has been in since they were 23 and she was just 12 years old. Alrighty. June 9th, Dakota denies the accusations on Instagram. So she's defending Ezra. June 15th, Miller mocks the police and then deletes Instagram.
I think this is the last one.
On June 16th, another restraining order has been taken out against Miller. So the family of the 12-year-old was granted a restraining order against the actor for the February incident.
Okay, I think that's the last one. Yep.
Wait, go. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say
Oh.
go back. I wanted to read like there was something in quotes. There was something at the bottom there that I think the mom had said in a statement or something. Never mind. Don't worry. Okay. Ezra started screaming. Okay. The incident in which the child's mother and a neighbor claimed a visiting Miller started screaming at them, showed off a gun that had been concealed, and claimed the girl was an elevated being who would be lucky to have someone like me guide them, amidst other inappropriate and uncomfortable interactions.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So, again, we here at Paradise do not condone any of those terrible acts that he did, nor are we the type of people who like to kind of do the celebrity gossip type of thing.
Yeah.
But just because this is about is more so because it's about how the DCEU actors have either been in some type of controversy like Ezra Miller, or they have just been kicked off because they stood up for themselves against the executives,
Or
or
they
they
just
just
walked
weren't,
off.
or they just walked off. So I'm gonna open the floor to you guys, and I want to hear what you guys kind of think about. We can even, if you want, we can talk a little bit about the Ezra Miller stuff. I'm not really, I don't really want to talk about it too much. But if you want to, if you want to say your piece about it, we can say it now for about I'll give you guys 5 minutes. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to say your piece about the Ezra Miller stuff, and then we can move on to how the DCEU can be fixed, or ways that we think it's going to be fixed. Because I feel like, again, like I said, with what happened with Ray Fisher, him getting, him standing up for himself, uh, he was told basically that he no one would like an angry cyborg, and it's like, if you don't believe that, then you don't know the actual story about how Cyborg became Cyborg, because half his origin story, he was angry. But I mean, I'm sure if you lost your father too, and your father never came to none of your football games, you would be a little bit pissed too. And he was told that he had to smile on camera and all that other stuff. So I just feel like, just the way that people have been acting in the Warner Brothers executives, or the Warner Brothers executives have been acting, let me say that, has been just very nasty. I think it's very weird that they let this shit go on for this long before even saying that he's going to drop him. And the fact that I understand from a business aspect why they want to continue to drop the movie, but if Flash was the point of trying to restart the DCEU, now you're going to restart Flash, you're going to give us another Flash. It's like, it doesn't really make sense. So I open the floor to you guys.
If I'm being honest, drop that nigga. I'm sorry.
He's
I feel
dropped
like
already.
Well, I mean, he should have been dropped sooner. I feel like there was way too much shit going on over this time frame for them to just let it rock. Had it been anybody, in general, had it been anybody else who would have pulled the same shit, they would have flipped the switch ASAP. And I feel like, the DCEU, in my opinion, I don't think they should even try to compete with Marvel anymore. I think they need to just reevaluate their things and streamline what they're trying to do. Because we have the Batman come out, we have Joker 2 coming out. It's too many.
Joker 2 is not in the DCEU.
It's still DC based on Joker character. The point I'm trying to get my point off. The point that I'm trying to make is that regardless of what you consider to be DCU, is that they're working on too many side projects and there's no multiverse properly established with them for it to make sense in the matter. You know, like I feel like their shit is like, all right, cool, let's just keep dropping all these movies, but they not make any fucking sense. Let them be standalones. Excuse me. And if that's the case, that's fine. But like,
Facts.
let it just then keep it that way. Like, what the fuck are they trying to do? This dude gotta go. Sorry, they need to go. Like, Ezra Miller needs to go. He needs to. I don't even think they should drop the movie. I understand. Yes, the movie is done. The timeline is all set up. But no, fuck all that. Because like I said, if it had been anyone else, they would have fixed it. All the fans have been saying for a long time now. Swap him out with Grant Gustin from the Flash
TV
of
show.
the CW. Yeah, and it would not be that hard because they already had when they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths event on the CW. They had it where Ezra and Flash and Grant met each other on there, and they were talking to each other about their costumes. So I feel like the CW established the multiverse way better than the actual DCEU. And it wouldn't be too much of a shocker because you already know he's been the Flash. They've already met. You don't
They
really
didn't cancel that show already though.
No,
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Flash is on his last. I think the last season 8. Flash never got canceled. The other ones got canceled. Flash is the only one that survived the cancellations.
So it's still coming out with a new season?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. They still have season 8, and they still currently have the episodes right now. Okay. But my point is to say, I think they should just swap him out with Grant Gustin. He's already established as a Flash. It would make sense in the grand scheme of things, and move on from Ezra because the shit's just too. It's ridiculous. Like I said, had it been anybody else, the shit would not have rocked. Get rid of him, reset the shit, and then let's just move on from it because it's too much shit going on, and it's not like he's learning from it. Like literally. Day after day, week after week, like 2 years straight consecutive behavior. Like it's not even. You would think in today's culture where everybody gets canceled really quick, like how many more strikes does this motherfucker need? Like cut his shit, cut the ties.
Word. Even if of course, it's like I don't know. I 1,000% agree with you, Shawny. They should have been dropped him. Like I was saying off air before. Granted, what Will Smith did was like in front of millions and millions of people. He lost a lot of deals doing what he did, right? Versus Ezra Miller has been going on a tirade for the past 2 years. And it's only now that they're deciding to kind of cut him, but they're still going to give us the movie. So what I think they should do is I think they should just give us the standalone movie and then, go back to the drawing board and figure out how to actually figure out a way to just start from scratch. Like let the last Batman movie be a standalone, or even let that be the starting point. Let the next Batman movie that comes out have a crossover with another character, another DC superhero, and then from there we can start at the multiverse. You feel me? But don't try to kind of brush this shit off like it's okay. Well, we spent millions of dollars on this movie. We still have to drop it because we have to recoup. It's like that's showing to me that you don't really give a fuck about the fans who are paying to see these movies. John.
Well, Warner Brothers hasn't really cared for a long time, to be very honest. And they don't treat the DC property the way that Disney treats Marvel. And the only thing I wanted to comment on comparing the Will Smith incident to the Ezra Miller conversation is that a lot of the Ezra Miller stuff is still accusational because he hasn't been, like convicted of any particular crime just yet or anything like that. So we can't just say that he did do those things, even though he more than likely did based on like what we're hearing and reading. But, legally, you can't hold somebody to that. The difference is that Will Smith assaulted somebody on camera.
We can say allegedly.
We can say allegedly, right? the only reason why a lot of people treat it differently, and I don't believe it should be treated any differently, right? Because I think what Ezra Miller's doing is really creepy and it
Wild
really
as
just
fuck.
really
I
fucking
think
creepy.
he
Yeah,
just might have like and
a
I'm not trying to
god
diagnose
complex.
anybody. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
diagnose anybody, but I think he may just have like a mental illness because it's like,
Maybe
first of all,
maybe bipolar disorder.
yeah, or personality disorder or narcissism, like something, because it doesn't make sense. Like, honestly, to be honest with you, before this Flash movie, I didn't know who they was. Like, I never knew who they
Same.
is until this Flash stuff came apart.
So that like there are obviously big differences between actors like Ezra and Will Smith, but like Will Smith was only treated the way he was treated because he did something in front of a lot of people and on camera, so everybody can say, "Yeah, you did that," right?
Yeah, but
Um,
we're in the type of society today where it's like someone, and I'm not saying this is the right thing to do,
I'm
right?
just
Nor am
explaining
I
why.
condoning.
It's a
No,
dumb reason, but that's the reason why.
and I totally understand, but we're still in the same society where it's like, if someone hears that you did something weird, you're gonna you possibly could get canceled just from hearsay. We
Yeah,
don't even
no,
have
you're
the
right.
facts. Like when what's his name? When Nelly was accused of sexually assaulting a woman, then it came out that she was lying. When he was accused, people were on Twitter killing him. It came out that she was lying. No one wanted not then everyone changed their mind. Oh, okay. You know, Nelly is Nelly.
Guess
I
guess
can't
guess guess
I
that's
never
over with.
yeah, it's over with. Okay, Nelly, you were right. Get over it, you know? And it's like, but with Ezra Miller, and again, I think it's more of like, and I'm not trying to make this into that, but unfortunately, it always goes back to that where it's more of a black and white thing, where it's like, because he's and I don't know if he is white, like
They
a what sorry, I don't
if
know if they
if they're white,
is
they're more than
if they
likely
is
white.
white or like maybe
This
white passing. It doesn't matter that he is able to do things, even though you're right, he was accused of doing these things. The accusations aren't enough for DC to be like, okay, well, we need you, Ezra Miller, to come into the Warner Brothers offices and talk to us right now. We need to check on your mental health. We need to see what's going on with you, because you are now the flagship of what we're trying to do with this multiverse shit. We are restarting this shit with your movie, and if we can't restart this shit with your movie, then that's it. Just give us the Young Justice shit, honestly, and give us the standalone movies. Don't try to build into a universe no more. That's just me.
well, all that other nonsense aside,
Try it.
because I was gonna say it just reminds me of the point that Dave Chappelle was trying to make about the how they compare the LGBTQ struggle to the black struggle and how it's treated differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's because
but we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on
yeah.
from that, yeah, because we keep talking about it. Um,
So how can the DCEU be
Warner
fixed?
Brothers
Let's move this. Let's
Warner
move the
Brothers needs to
conversation
sell
to
it,
that.
which they never will. But Warner Brothers needs to either sell DC or they need to assign someone that can be the
Kevin
like
Feige
that
of
Kevin Feige version equivalent,
yeah.
where they have an executive producer that their sole job is to direct the course of the DCEU going forward. That executive producer would be hand selecting the directors that get to work on those DC films and kind of give them an outline for what kind of story they need to tell. Allow them to tell their own story, but be able to fit certain elements so that it fits into whatever they're trying to do. And that's if their goal is to compete with Marvel at Disney, right? Because Disney has made it a thing where that was what they wanted to do, was make an established cinematic universe. But Warner Brothers may not have the desire to do that because maybe for them it's a better business model to license the characters out to people that just want to do films. Like if anybody wants to do a Batman series, they can do so. If somebody wants to do a Joker spinoff, they can do so. Not because like they have this overarching structure of a universe that they're following. Warner Brothers has never cared for that. They've never really shown us that they care for it. And then they tried to do a little bit of that with Zack Snyder's universe, and then tried connecting it to the Suicide Squad universe as well. And that was done very sloppy, and they butchered Ayer's and Snyder's cuts of both of those films, and then they tried to salvage it, bringing in James Gunn to do the second Suicide Squad, which was phenomenal. And it just goes to show you that it's because there's nobody at Warner Brothers as a dedicated executive producer who handles only DC related things in the manner in which Kevin Feige does Marvel and Kathleen Kennedy does Star Wars. They don't have a person like that to be able to make it all make sense.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna get the equivalent of that anytime soon unless they care enough to make it a thing. It looks like whoever's been making decisions recently is trying to do a lot of cleanup work, right? Like getting James Gunn to do the Suicide Squad, and then building a universe off of that as well, creating the Peacemaker show and all that other stuff. It seems like they're trying really hard to create something that works. And from what I haven't seen Peacemaker yet, but from what I've been told,
It's good.
it's really good.
Really good.
And I really enjoyed the second Suicide Squad film. So, like it just tells me that somebody is now trying to clean up a little bit of what's happening and creating something that fans are engaged with. But like at the end of the day, I don't really know what's on Warner Brothers' agenda. Like they make a lot of money just because like those characters sell themselves. Like you can go to a Six Flags and pay for the overpriced DC Warner Brothers bullshit. Like you could see everything, like on HBO. They've made a lot of these properties accessible and recognizable, and they're riding on the notoriety of these characters, like putting Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman into multiverses, and like they're using DC as a property to make money off of, but I don't think they view it as a money-making machine the way that Disney might view Marvel. And I think it's because maybe, now I don't know the numbers here, but maybe Disney spent more money to have Marvel than Warner Brothers spent to own DC at some point. Like I don't even know when Warner Brothers acquired DC. Like I don't have that information. Maybe there's some DC fans out there that would love to educate me.
They've owned it for a while now.
I know it's been a long time, but
a long time.
I just couldn't tell you. All I know is that when Disney makes a huge investment, you know what I'm saying? They usually want to capitalize on it the best way possible. They capitalized on Star Wars immediately after they bought Star Wars and put out a whole trilogy.
They've owned it since 1969.
Damn.
They've owned it for like almost
A
ever,
lifetime.
like all of it. Yeah. So, like we just.
Yeah, that makes sense because even the first Batman animated series came out on.
It was with Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers.
It was on Cartoon Network, and that's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, so like the characters make money on their own, right? So maybe Warner Brothers doesn't really feel this financial pressure to do the same things that Disney's doing with Marvel. Marvel's a recent acquisition for Disney. Disney hasn't owned Marvel for as long as Warner Brothers has owned DC. So Disney's going to want to make return on investment. They obviously have already at this point, but they they want to continue capitalizing on something that's working, right? So when the MCU came about, the MCU wasn't expected to succeed the way that it did. They put all their eggs in one basket. They wanted to see how Iron Man would do. John Favreau gave Iron Man to the world, and it was a smash hit. And they were able to just continue building off of that. And they were lucky that Robert Downey Jr. turned into the superstar that he was, because he was at
He
rock
had,
bottom of his
yeah,
career.
he had fell off.
No faith in his abilities to dedicate to a role and be on, you know, and be on track to do more films after that. Nobody had faith in Robert Downey Jr. And it just so happened to work. You know, like Marvel sold all of the rights to their characters off before Disney bought majority of everything. That's why Universal had the Hulk and Fox had X-Men and everything in that universe. Sony bought
had
Spider-Man and
Spider-Man,
everything in that universe. And
it's so just to give you kind of numbers wise, Marvel Cinematic Universe is the highest grossing film series with 26 billion gross worldwide. The next up is Star Wars with 10 billion. And the DCEU is at 11 with 5 billion, excuse me. There's also Spider-Man, Wizarding World, which I believe is Harry Potter, the Fantastic Beasts. There is the James Bond. Avengers is higher than the DC. So Marvel got 2 on top of them. And they also have the X-Men is higher than them. Fast and Furious is higher, and I've never heard. Oh, of course, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. So yeah, that's just to kind of give you something. Batman is at number 7, by the way. So, but yeah,
it's just one of those things where, you know, like I think that as a company, I think Warner Brothers looks at how they make money off of the DC universe very differently than the way Disney looks at Marvel. And I don't think that Warner Brothers necessarily cares
it
to
just it
compete
just
with
it
them the
just
same way.
it just hurts my brain sometimes, because like the shows that they make, the live action shows, they're pretty good. Titans was alright from what I watched. I never got to finish it, but I'm
I got
definitely
bored
going
of
to
it.
try to.
It's good.
Titans was good. Peacemaker is good. Even the animated movies are way better than any of the Marvel animated movies, that's for sure. Um, the animated TV shows for DC with Harley Quinn it's amazing. I can't wait till season 3 comes out. Young Justice this past season, amazing. Even the movies, like I said before, so it just doesn't make any sense to me how they can't apply what they're doing in those to its cinematic universe when it comes on the screen, because they can obviously do it. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, basically they can obviously do it in one place. It doesn't make sense why that can't translate to live action. But on the other side, like I said, MCU, while they are amazing at doing things live action, when it comes to the animated stuff, there's only like a handful of animated shows that were really good. That includes X-Men and like maybe 1 or 2 of the Spider-Mans that came out. And I don't think Disney did one of the Spider-Mans that was really good.
No,
So it just kind of
just to clarify, a lot of that stuff is now when we say MCU, that's just the cinematic universe. So that's just the Marvel movies that comes out. So any other property that Marvel has done, some of that stuff was just done, you know, like with license, like people, you know, purchasing the license to create things using those characters and those worlds, and they pull stuff from the comic books and they do their own things, you know. And back in the day it was real easy to do storytelling, you know, with animation and stuff like that, you know, like it was cheaper. It still is cheaper to do storytelling with animation. Like that's the reason why the Clone Wars was an animated series. To tell all of that Star Wars story cost a lot less to animate it than it did to do a whole live action whatever,
Chef's Kiss.
right?
That show was amazing.
But they put effort into it, so it was a good show. But that was the reason why it was animated and not some live action miniseries somewhere. So like it just over time, like we've gotten used to the way Marvel has done things. We've gotten used to what the MCU has given us in terms
They
of
set
like
the
content.
standard.
Yeah, they've set a new standard for what we expect from larger than life IPs, right? Like when we think of Marvel superheroes now, we look at them differently because of what the MCU has been able to do for the popular opinion. There are a lot of people that have been reading comic books for decades that are up to date on current storylines or remember all of where all of this inspiration comes from. Like people that were reading Miss Marvel comics before the Disney Plus series came out. Like now everybody running to the comic books to kind of get a taste of what other stories are out there. But like it's just one of those things where with DC has always had really good stories, has always had phenomenal characters in general, but just hasn't had an easy time finding the right people to bring those stories into other mediums. Bringing a comic book story onto the big screen for a live action debut can be like really fun and campy, like when we look at some of the old Batman stuff, or it could be dark and gritty like the new Batman stuff, or it could just be like anything else Warner Brothers has ever done, like the other Batman stuff, but basically just Batman.
Yeah. Nah,
um
yeah.
but like Warner Brothers excuse me, if excuse me, damn. if they want to do something, I was dying. If they
Yeah,
want to
no,
do
get some
something,
water, please.
I have it. If they want to do something, they need an entire overhaul. It's not gonna be,
Overnight.
we fix it with one movie. The Flashpoint happens, boom, we
And
reset everything. Ah,
nah.
it's gonna be,
They have a lot of movies slated in the next year or so, which is
I still kind of
which
want to
is
see Black Adam.
yeah, I want to see that one too. But they have
Still kind of
like,
want to
of
see that.
course, like you said, Black Adam. Let me just scroll down here. Black Adam is coming out this year. They also have Shazam 2,
Yeah, sequel to
Fury of the
Shazam.
Gods is coming out. They have a Batgirl movie that's supposedly coming out this year. We haven't gotten a release date, but we have a release date for Aquaman, which what's her name? I think lost her
Amber Heard.
role. Yeah, she lost her
Or
role
Amber
in
Head.
Amber Heard, I think that was
Amber
her
Heard.
name.
Yeah.
She lost her role because she was beating men. She was beating my boy Johnny Depp. That's crazy. And then of course the Flash, and then Blue Beetle. And then there's like other movies. There's like an Amazon movie, Black Canary, Buster Gold, Deadshot, which is why. Gotham City Sirens, Green Lantern Corps, which we actually have a John Stewart, I believe, for that.
That's
Lobo,
dope.
the Metal Man, Nightwing, Plastic Man, Static Shock is apparently, how them niggas be doing this shit.
Yeah,
And
we're not gonna argue about Michael B. Jordan right now.
it's not, look, he's not doing Static, so I don't care about that. I just want the movie or something. Like we deserve a Static Shock. Anyway, there's a Supergirl movie, which is
Yeah,
again
they got
why
a lot of shit
Wonder
planned to come
Woman
out, but
3 and Zatanna, which I would want to see the Zatanna movie because I like
that
her.
one might be interesting. They got a lot
But
of shit coming out, but
yeah,
I don't
another
know.
series that has a lot of stuff that has been recently happening, so we can move on to the end of our segment. That was great, guys.
Yes.
Hold on, let's give a round of applause for my niggas.
Mhm.
Round of applause, my niggas. That was great, man. So basically, if you didn't understand what we were saying, we all kind of agreed. The best way for DCEU to fix their stuff is to throw everything out, get one person to kind of head the DCEU division, and have him handpick the people
Or
who are
her.
going to direct, or her, or they pick
Have them.
Anyone.
have whomever
Yes.
pick pick whoever they will choose to head that particular division, so that there can be some so everything can be concise and
Streamlined.
cohesive.
Yeah.
Cohesive is the word.
Cohesive. Yeah.
Cohesive. So to move on, to the next part of our segment and the last.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I haven't gotten a Frankie one, and I have to find his. So he's the next one that I have to get.
And
I just and Brooke, yes, because now you're there. I love Frankie's though. Anyway, yes. So John, where you at? Where you at? I got to know.
All right, so I am only 2 episodes away from being at 400. I'm at 398. I am at episode
That means he
398.
watched. That means he watched 397. Just to let everybody know.
No.
You
That's not
watched
the only episode
398.
I watched.
You watched up to 398, or you watched?
I finished episode 397. I'm on 398.
Isn't that what I just said?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened in 397?
Everyone died.
All right, it's been great.
And there we go.
Motherfucker.
That was my One Piece review. Didn't like the ending.
Uh-huh.
Everyone died.
Let's go. What happened?
So I think the last time we dove into One Piece, I was talking about how they bumped into the flying fish riders, and it was the ugly guy that looked like Sanji's wanted poster.
Yes.
Was upset with Sanji.
They just got to Sabaody. Yes.
Sabaody. I don't know. I gotta hear it again in Japanese because they don't say it like that.
Dub ass nigga.
Yeah, I hear Sabaody in Japanese.
Sabaody.
Anyway, so they were attacked by Iron Mask Duval, right, and the Flying Fish Riders, right. So these guys that they fly around on actual fucking fish that fly, and they ride them like I don't know, like something like little tiny friggin' planes that become jet skis too. Like it's interesting. Oda has a really funny way of making organic technology. So the Straw Hats are dealing with Duval and his crew, and at the end of not at the end, before we get to the end, there's a moment where Duval is going to attack Luffy. Right, so he has his bull, his gigantic, huge friggin' bull, charge at Luffy, and Luffy stares him in the eyes, and he stops and runs away. So everybody was like, Luffy didn't even touch him. What happened? What's going on? And then, me listening to all of my Macky spoilers, I was like, was that intimidation hockey I saw?
Intimidation hockey.
Whatever that is. All these different, I hear like hockey for random shit. I hear Conquerors hockey this and all that random hockey that. All right, cool.
Stop it. Shut up.
I'm like, all right, cool. Because
he was
Mac
just
has said it in the
talking.
past.
I've already told
Don't
him
go
about
into
this,
detail.
though.
Let him be great.
I'm not. I've already told him about this though. He already knows. Continue,
so that's
John,
why
please.
I'm like, all right, there's like he can intimidate people with his hockey. That's intimidation hockey to me until they name it. Like that's what that fucking is.
Intimidation hockey is hilarious.
That's what that is to me. I can't be, bro.
Go ahead.
It doesn't not make sense. Tell me.
I'm done. No. Continue, please.
Anyway,
One Piece. Keep
so they're showing, glimpses. They've shown it in the past already, right? I've already caught on to moments where the Straw Hats have shown some type of energy or something energy in nature with the attacks or the techniques that they've done. in certain battles. But this is the first time that they make it very blatant and very obvious that Luffy did do something to intimidate Duval's bull. Right? They made that it's a narrative point that they're trying to make, that he was able to do that. To end this altercation, Sanji destroys my man's face with 1,000 kicks to the chin. He's just, wailing on my man's chin. Just just rocks his ass.
Before you move forward, right?
No.
You know that his wanted poster is Duval, right?
Yes.
Okay. That was Duval that they painted, not Sanji. But they look like brothers, so continue.
Oh, so they painted him. Well, he was just like, I don't look like this. I don't know why. Duval was upset. He was just like, you're the reason why I'm always being chased around.
Yeah.
And I can't live my life in peace because they think I'm Blackfoot Sanji.
Yup.
And it's just like, who the fuck is you? Like he's upset. And then after Sanji scrapes his shoes all over Duval's face, the crew goes to tend to him, right, and help him up. And they're like, all right, listen, you got to look at this mirror, but I don't need you to freak out when you see what you're gonna see in this mirror. But here you go. And apparently Sanji beat this man so bad he made him handsome. So he beat the handsome on this man.
What does that remind you of?
Beat the ugly out of him.
He beat the ugly out of him, right?
What does that remind you of?
What is it supposed to remind me of something?
Remember, didn't handsome Squidward get beat up so badly that he became handsome?
Yes, Squidward became handsome Squidward by getting beat up. You're right. So he beat Duval's face, and the way Sanji describes it is that he rearranged his bone structure so that
so he don't look like him.
So he wouldn't look like him, and he would be handsome. So Duval's comic relief for I guess the foreseeable future is the fact that he is so obsessed with how beautiful and handsome he is now that when you say anything at all about anything, even if it's not about him, he's like, well, you said I was handsome. What happened? I know I am the most handsome in my crew, aren't I? Like nobody's talking to you. Yeah.
Fucking Duval.
So Hachi tells Luffy at the end, like after they have this whole moment where they kind of didn't want to rescue Hachi, but like Luffy decides to do it anyway because he wants to help Kami, and he knows that Kami cares a lot for Hachi. So he agrees to rescue. Nami also agrees that they can rescue Hachi. He agrees to feed everybody at the end, and he tells Luffy, I want to thank you guys. I'm gonna feed you guys. And I also know how you can get to Fishman Island because they've already mentioned that they were attempting to get to Fishman Island. They know that they have to dive under the ocean, but they've already tried to with the Sunny's submarine. And it was just too far down for them to get to with the submarine. Just the water pressure is too much for the technology that they have at their disposal. But Hachi says there is a way that you can get to Fishman Island, and I know a guy that can help us. So this guy is basically someone that coats ships. He's going to coat your ship in something that will allow the Sunny to be able to withstand the pressure from beneath the ocean, and you guys may enter Fishman Island that way. So Luffy says, all right, bet. Let's go. Let's do what we got to do. And they arrive at an archipelago.
Yeah.
And it's funny because,
sea body archipelago. Can't pronounce its name.
Sabodi archipelago.
Archipelago, something like that.
Archipelago. He said it right.
Yeah, the archipelago. So he takes them to the archipelago.
Archipelagio.
That's not y'all be fucking saying y'all know the dope shit, man.
No, nigga, it was you that kept saying what.
That's
what
how
did you
they
keep
say
saying?
in Japanese.
Nah, they're wrong. It's archipelago, my boy.
One day all right, next episode we bringing up the video.
Oh no. So they arrive at the archipelago, and this is lore central. So for like the past couple episodes, yeah, excitement has happened. I'm gonna get to it, but they have just been, just building and building and building. They're like, you want some lore and some backstory
we
to
gotta
your
give
lore
you
and some other lore and some new characters and their crews and more new characters, and Luffy's grandpa's still around. So there's a lot of stuff that they're.
Wait, who's the new
throwing at.
characters that you met? I'm sorry.
Oh man, so like all of the rookies that
Aha!
at the time just
Shit
are
is about to,
converging.
bro. The
on
next episode is gonna go crazy.
You have no idea where I'm at. Let
Yes,
me
I do.
finish.
I know exactly where you are.
If you would you based on what you said, yeah, we know exactly where you are.
I know exactly where you are, bro. I know exactly
Okay.
where you are.
That's why I'm just preparing to tell him to shut up.
I'm trying to keep quiet,
So-
bro,
so
but
word.
shit
Yeah,
about
the
to go
teeth will be in
crazy.
mouth.
So
Continue, please.
relax. Yes. So I mean, I get what's going on. I know why you're so excited. So well, I'm experiencing it.
So you met the supernovas.
The who's?
That's the
Let him
rookies.
finish. Just let him go.
That's what they call them. They call them supernovas.
Yeah, they call them the supernovas.
Okay, well, I haven't heard anybody call them that yet. But basically, they make their way to the archipelago. Hachi brings them to a bar where the owner of the bar is beating the shit out of her patrons. And he knows the owner, and she explains that the man that they're looking for that coats ships is her husband, and he's not here. He left 6 months ago. She hasn't heard from him. He is somewhere in the archipelago. You're gonna have to find his ass, and if you find him, then maybe you can convince him to come home and take care of your ship. But that's all I can tell you. She explains to the Straw Hats that they're here in the archipelago at a very interesting time, where she's done her homework and she knows a lot about all of the individuals that have kind of been spotted around and what they've been doing. And everybody is considered a rookie, but still has pretty sizable bounties on their heads. And everybody right now is, I guess, converging in the archipelago on their journey over the red line, correct? Everybody's going into the new world through this particular island. Everybody jumps through the islands in the Grand Line, and eventually all of the islands will end at the archipelago at the end.
Yeah.
So, they get a lot of this explanation. And they say, okay, well, we have to go find this person, right? We have to go find the guy that coats the ships. And they say, okay, we could be in a couple of different places, so let's go. Everybody splits up and they start looking in different areas. And Luffy goes with Kami and Hachi and Papagu, because that's how they say his name in Japanese. I don't know how you say it in English. And
that's the starfish?
The starfish. Papagu. And and they go to the amusement park. They go to the amusement park, and while everybody's kind of like out and about, we get some more lore about individuals that converge in this area as well, or that live here. I guess they live here permanently, but individuals that are in this area known as the Celestial Dragons. And
continue.
Okay, you didn't have to startle the crap out of me with that. The Celestial Dragons are explained as the descendants of the individuals that created the new world government, in a sense, right? So I just really love how many layers Oda has decided to put onto the corruption of the world government and just making the world government like the ultimate bad guy in anime history. Just like the world government supposedly has succeeded in world domination, and we're seeing the story of how one man who's made of rubber just single-handedly dismantles the entire fucking world government.
The
Is
entire
the entire established order.
Establishment. Yep.
Yeah, like that's basically what this is a story about.
Real nigga shit.
And yeah, fun. So they depict the celestial dragons as snobby, rich, entitled, wealthy individuals who are extremely self-privileged and partake in a taboo practice of buying and selling slaves. So in the Saburi archipelago, they are still one of the only places, to my knowledge, the only place, unless there's other places, the only place really where they still discriminate against fish men and mer people and participate in a slave trade where they kidnap, buy, and sell humans as slaves for different purposes. So this is just a really, really interesting arc to be starting at this time period, especially right because we're celebrating Juneteenth this weekend. And Juneteenth is basically just the celebration of when the last group of slaves in Texas were finally freed, when the Emancipation Proclamation finally made its way to Texas, which we know many of the states in the South and Texas were very, very, very reluctant to,
Yeah.
go through with all of that.
Not to correct you really quickly, but you are correct.
Yeah.
It's when it's not when they were freed, but it's when the information of them being free got to them. They weren't freed until much later after that date.
I think it was
Like
3
a couple
years
of weeks,
after
2
the
years after,
Emancipation.
2 years after the
'Cause it
Emancipation Proclamation
was
is
in
when
1863, and then all of that stuff kept going until 1866.
1865 is when they found out. So that's when they found out that they were freed, but the last slaves weren't freed until much later after that date. So I just wanted to clarify that for people who don't know about Juneteenth. Back
and
to
why
One
and
Piece.
why we observe the holiday,
And why
right?
we observe the holiday.
Right. So
Back to One
it's
Piece.
just coincidental, right, that we're observing a holiday in remembrance of a time where slavery was a common practice in the United States, and I am now experiencing what slavery looks like in the world of One Piece. And obviously there's a little bit of caricature to it, right? Like it's still One Piece, so it can't be too serious. It has to be a little bit of silliness to it, or at least moments where the tension breaks, where it's not just complete tension is on the whole time. But there's like silly depictions of slavery, like riding on a single person's back, like
That's crazy.
oh yeah, you're so slow. You would never ride on one person's back. Like nobody would ever want to do that ever. Like not even for fun. Like that person would just get tired and collapse. All right, this is no
That's
fun.
crazy.
Like I was expecting like Pharaoh shit from Egypt where they'd have like 6 slaves, 3 on each side, lifting this chair, carrying him through the town. No, he's riding on the back of one guy.
And that person's on their hands and knees
God.
like a donkey or
Yeah,
a
like
horse.
bro, that was the dumbest idea you had to travel ever. Like that was a really dumb travel decision.
You're not gonna get nowhere anytime fast.
Yeah, like that was so stuff like that is obviously the little teeny tiny bit of like caricature that you can throw into something as severe as slavery, right? And The story progresses, and Kami the mermaid gets kidnapped, and the story becomes a huge rush to save Kami from being sold at a slave auction. They get to the slave house. Huge hijinks ensue of getting all of the straw hats to the auction house. Zorro also has hijinks on his way to,
Motherfuckers getting lost.
What do they call them? The individual numbered islands. They call them. They have a name. I'm trying to remember what the fuck the name is. Not
I don't know.
bays. It was like something else. But it was, they're all numbered. Everything is numbered. And Zoro assumed the Sunny was on, number 1 when the Sunny is actually on number 41. So he makes his way all the way to number 1. Well, not all the way, because Luffy snatches him up and brings him with him. But they all make their way to the auction house, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get Kami back. And Hachi is very specific on how they should not be trying their best to disrupt the natural order of things in the archipelago because of the implications of what comes with it. If anybody harms a celestial dragon or causes trouble, there is a marine base very nearby, and if anyone harms a celestial dragon, they'll send an admiral to that area with a fleet of ships and a small army, I guess, to restore order and balance. They basically don't want people to harm the descendants of those who created the modern world. Which I get the picture that they're painting. And we get this part where they try to threaten the guard at the door, like, why are you guys doing stuff like this? Like, this isn't what people do. They're like, hey, listen, that's how it is here. And you're not gonna change anything either, regardless of how upset you are. And Nami decides, okay, cool, if we're not going to force our way in, then let's play by their rules. Maybe we can buy Kami. That way we don't have to start any drama, and she leaves with us fair and square, and we have about 200 million berries worth of treasure on the Sunny. We might be able to pull this off. So everybody decides to wait a little patiently to see what happens with the auction. And as soon as the mermaids revealed, the celestial dragon that had just rode his one person carriage, he had finally arrived at the auction house, and he immediately shouts 500 million. Then everybody was just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
That's where he started at. Homie started at 500 million berries. And then his boy said, oh, you got a piranhas in your fish tank. What are you going to do with a mermaid? He said, I'm obviously going to have the piranhas chase after her for fun. And 500 million berries for that, bro.
That's crazy.
I guess, right? So everybody's kind of freaked out. Luffy finally makes his dramatic entrance, smashes through the ceiling, and apparently he made that exact sound. And all of this commotion is going on. We know about the giant that's being kept in the auction house that they were going to sell. We know about the old man who is the ship coat person, and he's there with the giant in the back of the auction house. We saw him use his hockey, and the giant said, who are you to just be throwing around some strong hockey like that? Like, protecting Kami when they were trying to put the collar on her neck. So we know that those characters are back there. and commotion happens. The celestial dragon shoots Hachi because Hachi was trying to keep Luffy from fucking shit up, and he had to use all 6 of his arms to try to hold Luffy back, and they realized that he was a fish man.
Yep.
And the celestial dragon shoots him, and he basically pleads with Luffy not to do anything stupid, and Luffy says, "Don't worry, because he's about to get these hands." and and Luffy stomps his way up the stairs and layeth the smacketh down on that motherfucker's candy ass.
Yes,
And
sir.
launches this man chin first into
Where's my shit at?
the bleachers.
That is an iconic moment.
Listen to me, bro. That is probably one of the greatest anime moments that you have seen so far, because there's gonna be more. But
Yeah.
that one right there, when he punched that motherfucker into the stratosphere, oh my god, bro. The reason why it was so great is because that shit went into black and fucking white, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, colors can tell a great picture, but when you punch someone so hard the screen turns black and white. Jesus Christ, bro.
So Luffy put the rubber paws on him like he always does, and
One Piece that motherfucker.
he gave him one piece for sure, right to his fucking jaw, and he was out. He was done. And then all the fighting ensues after that. We've met some of those other high profile characters, right? Like the girl that saved Zoro from slicing him in half earlier. Zoro was gonna the girl with the pink hair. Yeah,
Bonnie.
yeah. So she saved
Jewelry
Zoro.
Bonnie.
She saved Zoro because Zoro was dead ass gonna slice my man in two. He shot at him
remember
twice. He dodged 2 bullets. It was just like, she was like, "No, you fucking idiot!"
I
Tackled
remember
him.
that.
So we've met some of those characters, right? They've already introduced Law, Trafalgar. I don't know how you say it.
That's how you say it. You said it right.
Trafalgar.
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 Yeah, you said it
But
right.
they
Law.
you get it. It gets nicknamed. It makes it easier.
Right.
Traffy.
So they've introduced Law. I know he's gonna be a Straw Hat, right? I'm not stupid. I've seen all of the pictures, but
Okay.
it's.
You met Kid?
Did I think I did?
You
The
definitely
one
met
with
Kid.
the red hair,
If
right?
you met
The
Law,
one with
yeah.
the captain, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Captain
Captain
Eustace
Kidd.
Kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they were all there at the auction house
You met
when all the fighting
Hawkins.
happened. Yeah, all
You
those
met
characters.
Scratchman Appo.
The mafia guy too.
Capone,
Capone
Beige.
Beige.
Yeah, the mafia guy. Yeah, they
Yeah,
showed us all
Capone.
those characters. They were
So you
all
saw
kind
the
of
worst. You
there.
saw the worst generation, basically.
Yeah.
They were
Not all
there.
of them, but most of them.
They were there when Zoro was going to hurt the celestial dragon, and they were all just like, "Wow, it's interesting that somebody like that is the second person on his ship. That he's not the captain. I wonder what the captain is like."
Captain is like,
It's, Sanji, Zoro, Nani.
bro. Can't stand that nigga. But hey, man.
So
But yes, continue. Sorry.
that's basically where we're at. Like we're the Marines surrounded the building. The fighting is happening. All the stuff is going on. They're gonna leave the auction house and start fighting the Marines outside in the next episode.
Good luck.
But that's where I left off. So we're at an
Some shit about to
interesting
pop off next episode, bro. The next 2 episodes.
we're at an interesting point in the story where we're building more of the lore of the world, right? You have Robin doing a little bit of some background story on why this particular pocket here is like stuck in the past, and like the discrimination and the slavery and things like that. And and it's just interesting, like they want to show the aristocratal type of, like lifestyle that people that bought and sold slaves participated in, those types of, like, the life of the wealthy back then, you know
Mhm.
um and I see the real world comparisons, and the similarities there. I think it's just going to be really interesting to see how the Straw Hats destroy all of it, right? Because everywhere they go, they destroy everything. At least the status
Okay.
quo of whatever was there when they got there, it ain't there when they leave. It's always how it is. I mean, just look at Thriller Bark. That ship gone.
That shit
ain't no
gone.
more, ain't no more fucking Thriller Bark. That shit is
Nobody
gone.
even knows where that nigga's at.
That
Gecko Moria.
fucking Thriller Bark gone, and its lobby gone. Like,
Yeah, they blow. Yeah, that
every,
shit got blown up
every,
too.
everything is fucking gone. Like
They Buster called the shit out of that place.
so I know that they did. So I know that when the Straw Hats are done with the Saudi archipelago, things are going to be different, whether the archipelago burns to the fucking ground or the status quo is just kind of changed. Maybe Luffy bazookas all the celestial dragons to hell. Like, who knows? Like, I don't know, but
Who knows? Only
who
Oda.
knows? Only the two of y'all who have seen this arc know. But um that's where we are in the narrative. Story's getting pretty interesting. um I want them to like start, I guess, explaining more things about like hockey, and like a little bit more of that, like pushing some of these characters up to the next level. um but let's see where it goes from there. But I just think it's just really telling of how much attention to detail that Oda has in his storytelling. And I know we've said this a gazillion times already on the podcast in the past. But like this is interesting. This is how you build a world, and it's how you emphasize a system that is broken, and the characters are not necessarily fighting these larger than life characters like adversaries, but they're also fighting against a system, a pre-established order, things that have always been a particular way, and things that people aren't really allowed to question. A totalitarian government that doesn't control just one country, but controls majority of all of them, majority of the whole world. Um, and that's an interesting concept that I haven't seen really done yet narratively. You see totalitarian governments of individual countries, but never one that succeeds at uniting the whole world. You see some of that in like Gundam here and there, but it's not done this way where the political drama trickles into the daily lives of everyone everywhere
Yeah, yeah,
around the
yeah, yeah,
world
yeah.
simultaneously,
That's. I
and
was
their
gonna say that.
relationship to the government.
I was gonna say that, yeah. With Gundam, it's more of like the political drama is just between the people who are actually fighting within
The
in
war,
the
yeah.
conflict or the war. Like the everyday person is not really thinking about what the government is doing. They're just gonna follow whatever the government says.
Yeah.
Whereas the warriors or the well, most of them are like child soldiers. The child soldiers are the ones that are actually going out there and fighting and making these grand decisions. Whereas in the One Piece world, the big difference there, and that's why I think One Piece is so unique, is that like the what's happening with the world government is not only affecting the main character, but it's also affecting the random person that the main character meets. Because you can see, or Oda has a good way of telling you how the issue that's happening around the world is affecting every single piece of every single person that comes together in the One Piece world. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I've stayed on for so long. That's why I'm doing my rewatch now and I'm reading the manga because like I can't get enough of that shit. Like if they could, hurry up and do all the animations and give us everything, bro, I would fly through that shit. So, but again, man, you're like I said before,
So yeah,
you're at a
we're
great part. You're at a great part in the arc. A lot of shit. The next 2 episodes, a lot of shit is about to happen. So pay close attention, because the next time we meet, if I'm here next week, hopefully I will be. I will definitely try my best to be. But if I'm here next week, I definitely want to hear where you have kind of landed in this fucking anime, because again,
Indeed.
a lot of shit is about to happen within the next 2 to 3 episodes. Like, when I say a lot, you mentioned the Marines are surrounded the area. Shit's about to go up. So,
Oh,
with that,
they had mentioned something about a public execution of Fire Fist Ace.
you got that.
They said it. They haven't shown anything, but they were just like, "Oh, did you hear? There's gonna be a public execution of Whitebeard's second in command or whatever." They're like, "Oh, they're gonna start a war."
Did Luffy hear this?
No.
Okay.
No, these were like 2 other characters that were just like, "Oh, they're gonna start a war."
No,
They're gonna start.
end it.
War.
Let's end it here. Let's end it here.
You want to go to war? Huh? I take it to war. I eat the fucking devil fruit, man. Oh, Robin, don't ever change.
All right. Just a couple things before Johnny B ends it. We have some new videos out, just like how you heard John's One Piece story right now. 2 new videos have dropped where it's like kind of a throwback to like where he first started in the series, and we're gonna continue to drop these new episodes of John's One Piece story, or One Piece journey, excuse me. So please check it out on the YouTube page, which I will throw below.
One Piece review, because I am blindly, kind of blindly watching One Piece for the first time in my life. So yeah, join me on this never-ending story. Not the never-ending story, but Oda's never-ending story.
That never-ending story was trash. Anyway,
never-ending story.
That shit was garbage, bro. They had us watching that shit in school. Garbaggio. But anyway, Johnny B, take us out, man.
So if you guys have made it all the way to the end of the podcast, trust me, we love and appreciate you very, very, very much. If you guys are watching us on our YouTube channel, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and share this video with friends and family that you know might be interested in anime and video games and other pop culture topics, because we do talk about pop culture in general. Make sure that you guys are following us on all of our social media platforms and following the Paradise YouTube channel's social media pages that we got going on. We're engaging with y'all on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all of those fun places. So make sure you follow us individually and the podcast individually. It's a whole lot of fun. And if you guys are listening to us on Anchor, there's a nifty little feature there that allows you to support the podcast with any type of monetary donation you see fit. Those types of donations will help us improve the quality of the podcast, be able to give you guys some more content in the near future. And let us know down in the comments below, or reach out to us on social media and tell us what you thought about today's episode. What do you guys think about the DCEU in its current state? What do you think Warner Brothers can do differently to revitalize the DCEU and give us some fresh and more cohesive content that'll have everybody kind of falling in love with DC's iconic superhero characters? And are you guys watching One Piece currently? And how do you feel about my take on the series as a first-time watch and first time reviewer of all this wonderful Oda content here? The last episode we did was a One Piece centric episode, and I still haven't heard anybody's opinions on the One Piece stuff just yet. So let me know how you guys like all of these One Piece recaps and how this is working out for you guys. My window's open. People are talking outside. Ignore that. But yeah, that's it. That's all the time that we have for today. Don't forget to follow us, like it, do all that good stuff, and we out of here. Might as well just be a